So here we are in Lostpedia here. Normally I'll pull stuff from the trivia section, occasionally things from production notes, although it kind of depends, the quality that's there. I also don't automatically take everything, the trivia that they never say the Man in Black's name, that's always my love or, brother. I mean, that's so well known, that's so obvious. The fact that Claudia was pregnant, not so much. The other stuff I'll take and, very simply copy it and then paste it in here. As so, paste as plain text so all the weird pagination doesn't come in there. It's then at that point that I go to find the Wikipedia summary. Oops, I can type. I never read the Wikipedia summary ahead of time just because I do oftentimes, with a lot of these episodes, it's been a while since I've seen them, and I kind of want the, while there aren't really surprises, I kind of want the power of the narrative to wash over me as it occurs. I see here it's an extremely long Lostpedia summary. I'm never too happy to do that. I usually like to keep it at about 3 minutes. So that might require some annoying tweaking when I read it or ahead of time, which is something I tend not to like to do just for time purposes. But judging by the size of it, that will definitely need to be snipped. So now we have here, to go full screen on Evernote, now we have the full kind of notes as it's ready to go. The introduction part, that summary is way too huge. Then, good amount of thoughts here, instructions on when to do the clips, the Lostpedia bit, this is a bit shorter than usual, and then the reminder for what the upcoming episodes are. Now we head to recording. So here it is now, the next day. I try not to record, or rather watch the episode and record it same day. I just kind of feel like it leaves me a bit stale when it's time to do the recording. Want to be fresh to create the product such as it is. Also, second, I kind of like to have at least a day to just kind of mull over the nature of an episode. But anyhow, just wanted to point out I do have my handy dandy mic, which probably I should turn the lights on so you can see better. There we go. This is a Samson Meteor mic that I picked up from the Apple Store. I don't know that they sell this particular type of model anymore. The mic, well, that's the mic. Kind of had these little 3 stand doodad things I picked up for not a lot, maybe about $10. This desk mic from Radio Shack. Just because I am on the taller end, I then also keep it on this lovely tissue box, just so it's now at mouth height, which my mouth is right about that way. So the camera's right at about mouth height. So what's nice about this mic is it comes with its own, though it doesn't come with the headphones, but it comes with a headphone jack. These are just old headphones that don't work as well, hence the, let's focus here, hence the tape that's on there. But it's nice that allows me, when I'm back in GarageBand, to not use the option over here on the right-hand side. When I record, I don't want to be monitoring when I'm on that track. That kind of gives an echo. Well, I mean, on the one hand, it lets you monitor what you are recording, but you don't really want to be monitoring yourself, in my opinion, through GarageBand, because there's a bit of a delay and an echo and whatnot. Whereas if you just do it through the mic, you can kind of hear your voice immediately. This is about $100 mic, as I recall. I had bought a Snowball brand microphone and hated it. It didn't last 30 seconds before I took it back. The sound is great. If you've heard some of the other podcasts I've done on, for PH Geek, when we do it over Skype, those guys are using actually 2 Rock Band mics of mine from Rock Band. They're USB mics, and those sound pretty good as well. So anyhow, I have the notes on this screen. I don't do split screen, and let me show you why. As I'm recording here, GarageBand doesn't like to be too small, just because I am doing this on a TV, which is still, decent sized. Like, I don't know, here's a Wii remote just for comparison on the size of the screen, you know, you kind of have the menu down here, and it's GarageBand doesn't play nice when it's not full screen, or it doesn't look as nice. So I kind of like to have the entire you know, GarageBand screen here, and I can just swipe back and forth. That lets me focus on the notes. What I have done in the past is kind of have Evernote open, let's say on an iPad here, but I just kind of find it's easier, especially courtesy of the trackpad. It's just easy enough to swipe back and forth between the two. And with that, time to get the headphones on and start recording. So before I officially start recording, I always do a quick sound check with the mic, which I just completed, just to make sure that all that is set up properly. And then I will play the audio up to, you know, it's right after this second drum flourish here, which actually I've kind of copied out of the main track, and I've, dare say, I've tweaked Chiquino. It's right after that that I start to speak. You'll notice that I have only my track highlighted now. Everything else is muted. That's because I found in the past if I have the full volume, I'm kind of yelling over it unbeknownst to myself. So I actually will also include the clips track. So this way, if I happen to be talking through the clips I've recorded, it's on this track that I've recorded them, and then I pull them into the clips track. So that, of course, is right next to the voice track for kind of spacing and timing purposes, which I will demonstrate in a bit. So now here we are, time for the first clip as per the notes there. So it's just a simple matter of I've stopped recording. I have all the clips lined up here. Dragging it, oops, don't want all of them, dragging the one clip in on there, and then going down here into GarageBand, going back to a more zoomed in state and saying, okay, well, I finished about there, and then dragging the clip in. And of course I can't play it for you because I have the headphones in, but it'll all just line up perfectly. You can even just see visually. And side note for the technical end, these buttons here are the ducking controls. Ducking is which track will kind of supersede the other. Oh, you can see my voice moving there. Anyhow, so this saves me from kind of doing manual fade in and fade out. So let's say to come right here, I have a little bit of music, and I can kind of pull this in. It starts with music a little bit, and this top track, because it's set to be the chief one here, and to overtake these tracks that are set to the bottom setting, it'll automatically, you know, lower the volume here until, you know, kind of this first track is done. And of course you can set this to be not doing anything at all, or then to be ducked, I suppose would be the proper term. So there we go, the first clip of the podcast. With the podcast now recorded, there's the last little two bits that need to go in, the outro music, which I tend to use from the jingles that come with GarageBand. This one is Buddy. I kind of like a slow, kind of jazzy piano, you know, goodbye type thing. Of course, it is set to slowly fade in, kind of like the idea of being played off by the virtual band as it is. And then there's that. Then let's see, as I keep back here, as you can see, we still have a bunch of tracks that are muted. We'll undo that. Then it's a question of finding where to put in the music during the Wikipedia summary. Normally, I'll leave a little gap to let the music start when while I'm doing the vocal. So maybe this is it. And sure enough, it is. Now, it's usually important for me to figure out where it ends, because I like to not use the loops and the jingles that come with GarageBand, in part because those, if we go to all of them right here and sort by length, the longest ones are at the 2-minute mark, whereas it might take 3 or 4 minutes, hopefully not more than that, to do the Wikipedia summary music rather. So same thing here, I'm kind of looking for the fade out. I think this is it. By John Locke. So now we say, okay, that's the 5:50 mark. The other one here was around the 2-minute mark. Yep, sure enough. So with a little bit of math there, you want something that's about 4 minutes long. Hop into the iTunes offerings that I have on the computer. Scroll down. What do I have that's about 4 minutes long? You know, you don't want it to be too short. Hey, theme from Rudy. That sounds nice, but this is normally when it would preview. Not quite sure why it isn't. That's probably a little bit too familiar. You know, you've heard it whether you know it or not. Let's see, Hootie and the Blowfish, probably a little bit too poppy. Could try something like this John Williams track from Jurassic Park. Now, is that going to sound distinctly Jurassic Park? We'll see here. Or is it going to be too loud? This is partially a product of the track being turned down low. That's actually not a bad track choice in that it's kind of repetitive, it's in the background without being too much to it, so let's see how it fits. Yeah, so it seems to work, and here's the end of the Wikipedia summary there. Found centuries later by Jack Shepherd and Kate Austin, and dubbed Adam and Eve by John Locke. And you have a little moment there for the music to come in. Then I like to do a little bit of a fade toward the end, maybe to about here. And then yank that down. Now, why did I just put this second dot here to make it fade back up? That's because I know I'm going to cut the track here, but I may have cause later on in the course of this track to want it at full volume. So I kind of always, by default, keep it there and then fade out for right now. So with that, we can zoom out here. This is, we can probably zoom out a tad more. This is what an episode of Looking Back at Lost looks like in digital form. All these each time that I stopped while recording. And then we're just going to simply now turn it into the MP3, which once it's turned into an MP3, it'll become, there's a whole other story on that. So with that, yes, save, and more in a moment. Alright, now, home stretch. GarageBand has turned the audio file into an MP3, which I've gone over to Podbean. While it was doing its thing, I typed a little, podcast episode summary, got everything all set here. I, off camera, have uploaded it, so there it is, Looking Back 6:15. I've also, on Podbean, set it to roll out tonight at 23:42. That's 11:42 for everybody else. Just because that's what I do for the Looking Back at Lost direct feed there. With that, click publish, but I'm not done yet. Let's not forget that the single biggest source for traffic is the Lost Podcasting Network, so I'm going to go into where I have all my files saved, click on the link for what I've just uploaded, and with that, head over to my blog post for the Lost Podcasting Network, where I've just copied in everything that I said for the other podcast. I have the MP3 ready to go, at least the words MP3. Click on that, paste the link in, click OK. This too has been scheduled. This shows up at 8:15 Pacific. So, in the 11 o'clock hour Eastern is when both occur. Then finally, I press publish. And with that, we can do one quick check to see that, sure enough, Looking Back at Lost 6:15 is going to appear tonight. We can go back over to Podbean, see that episode 6:15 is there, ready to go tonight as well. And with that, that is how an episode of Looking Back at Lost, granted it's not this one because the next episode has yet to drop, but that is how an episode of Looking Back at Lost gets created. Thank you one and all for watching. I hope this was informative and not blatherworthy. And take care, everybody. As always, bye-bye.